What's good, people? It's your boy Lowery.
True hippie.
Yes. What is good, everyone, man? What is good? Can you guys hear me loud and clear? Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know. Yeah. Wait, my mic's not working. What's going on there? What is going on? Can you guys hear me? I don't think you guys can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Testing. I don't know if it's working. Oh, there we go. Is that working now? Is that... What is going on? One second, guys. Give me 2 seconds. All right, I think that should be working now. Yes, there we go. I don't know what was happening there. Anyway, guys, good evening and welcome to the Everything Lowery show. I'm your boy Lowery, and I'm your host for tonight, man. I'll be taking you through some of the latest entertainment news of this week. In this episode, I'll be discussing new updates to do with Netflix, and Netflix subscribers may not be happy with the news I'm about to report. Then we have some X-Files reboot information, which is pretty cool. Roadhouse 2 updates, the Jake Gyllenhaal reimagining that released, I want to say last year or the year before. We've also got Shōgun Season 2 updates, and I will end my show with my review for Thunderbolts. This is going to be another short episode because tonight... Can you guys see? Man United are playing Europa League, and this is a must-win match. So, we're gonna get into things really quickly. So, let's just get started, man. And then the first topic for tonight is to do with Netflix. So look, while we're all out here watching, we're trying to watch Night Agent, binge Stranger Things. What's the other shows that there are? Love is Blind. All of them shows. Netflix is out here plotting world domination, or at least a massive financial glow up. So, according to a recent report on the Wall Street Journal, Netflix wants to double its market value from around $479 billion, which is worth today, to $1 trillion. And they want to do that within 5 years. That's not just a flex, but that is an aggressive growth strategy. And get this, they're going to be following in the same footsteps as Apple, who Apple have also made the same $1 trillion dream come true. So for those of you who are paying for Netflix, you might be thinking, how are they going to do this? Well, simple. They just need to double their revenue. Simple. On paper, very easy to do. But there are a few ways that they can do it. first they can build up their ad business, which they have started to do with the lower tiers of their subscriptions. They can reach new markets, which they have started to do with the live events, or they can throw in more extras like streaming AAA video games or something like that. But let's be real, guys. Let's be real. The only way these men are going to do it, and the easiest way for them to do it, is to charge us more, the consumer, us, again. So here's where things stand in the US and the UK at the moment. So currently the lowest tier is $7.99, £5.99 here in the UK, and that comes with adverts. Then you have the standard tier with no adverts. In America, that is $17.99. Here in the UK, that's £12.99. And then you have the upper echelon, the premium tier, 4K. You can download to your tablet. What else is there? Spatial audio, all the bells and whistles, etc. That is $24.99 in America and £18.99 a month here in the UK. And I want to say the American pricing went up earlier this year. I don't think the UK has, so that is probably due to go up soon. But don't get too comfortable, because, you know, even though earlier this year that was the first price hike since October 2023, a year without a price hike now is probably an exception and not the rule. If you think of Spotify, think of YouTube, Netflix, they're clearly looking to go beyond just television and movies. They've already dipped into mobile games, so you can get Grand Theft Auto and other games on there. You can also now watch WWE live. They had the WrestleMania the other weekend. They had the boxing matches, the Tyson boxing match. So they are trying to break out of their current strategy of just Netflix only feature movies and TV shows, and then having third-party productions on there as well. But look, the bottom line is, as long as their subscriber numbers stay high, the price is going to remain high too. And every year people will say, I'm going to cut Netflix. I only know a few people to do that, but most of us are probably not going to go anywhere. And Netflix, they know this. You know, they, in a way, have kind of become a utility, like an internet bill, not necessarily electricity, but it's important. Like whenever anyone says, oh, have you seen such and such? It's, oh, is it on Netflix? People's first go-to for movies and television series is Netflix. So yeah, they've definitely etched their way into just everyday life. And yeah, look, no one loves paying more for their bills, but if you use the service and if you love a service, then you're not going to cancel it. So fun fact, in 2015 the premium plan was $11.99. I believe in the UK it was £9.99, and today it's more than doubled. So if that trend continues, we could be seeing $30 a month Netflix, which is insane. Like £30, we're now getting back to Sky TV and other other Virgin TV, and in the US I can't remember what they have in the US, but yeah, at what point is the consumer gonna say, you know what, I'm good with this, you know, £25, £30 a bit too much. For now, the content, it keeps us hooked. They have something new every week, but it's going to be interesting to see how far they can push the consumer. But let me know in the comments down below if you would pay $30 for Netflix per month. Let me know. I think it could potentially backfire at that price point, because I remember when Netflix first came around, pirating was probably at its highest it's ever been. And the reason for that was the cinema was too expensive to go to. If you didn't have a Cineworld card, or if you didn't have free tickets with your mobile phone, I think Orange Wednesdays, and there were a few others, even till this day, going to the cinema is very expensive. So if someone who's invested in their, and to be honest, not even investing in their TV setup. I've seen people on the train watch movies and TV series on their phone. So a lot of people don't really care for the cinematic experience. They just want to watch and be entertained. So yeah, I think if Netflix gets to that £30, $30 a month, we could see the rise of piracy even more. You know, on reports online, there's the Fire Stick fiasco, which is happening right now, and that could further accelerate piracy even more. So yes, look, it's cool that Netflix wants to get to $1 trillion, but for the consumer, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that was just a quick. And let me know in the comments, would you pay £30, $30 a month for Netflix? Let me know. All right, cool. We're going to move into something fun and something that was announced oh, I've got some comments down. Good evening. Bless up, bless up. Nope, you wouldn't pay. Do you know what? I don't think anyone would pay £30 for Netflix. They would have to. And sorry, guys. Right now in London, it's like 28 degrees, and I have no fan in this room, so I have to keep hydrated. Else, yeah, the stream won't go too well for me. But yeah, yeah, I don't see anyone paying £30 a month for Netflix. That's just gonna be ridiculous. But yeah, what's good? There is reply. Tuned in. Nice to see everyone tuned in. All right, cool. So we're gonna take it to the next story, which is all about X-Files, man. X-Files. Let me know in the chat if you guys are X-Files fans. Did you watch the TV show back in the day? But yeah, we got some really, really fun and really cool news about X-Files recently. And it's making a comeback. And not just any reboot, but we are getting a Ryan Coogler reboot. The visionary behind Black Panther, Creed, fresh hot off the incredible Sinners movie that dropped last week or the week before. If you haven't watched Sinners, make sure you watch that, man. It's bank holiday weekend in the UK here, man. Definitely use one of your evenings to check that movie out. But yeah, now he's stepping into the world of the paranormal. But the real question, and fans of the X-Files are going to be asking, you know, is Dana Scully herself, Gillian Anderson, going to come back? So Anderson actually popped up on this morning on ITV and was asked all about the X-Files reboot buzz. And surprise, surprise, she has actually spoken to Ryan Coogler himself. So this was a report from Deadline, and basically she said, I've spoken to him, and what I said was, if anyone were to do it, I think you are the perfect person, and best of luck, call me. She added, if the phone rings and it's good and it feels like the right time, then perhaps. Translation, she's not officially on board right now, but that door is wide open, and all Coogler has to do is pick up that phone and give her a call. Now, the whole reason why everyone knew about X-Files was that Ryan Coogler actually let it slip on the last podcast on the left when he was doing his Sinners promo. He said that the X-Files is officially his next project. His exact words were, I'm working on X-Files. That's what's immediately next. Some of those episodes, if we do our jobs right, will be really, and I can't swear, but it'll be really beep scary. So if Coogler's promising scares, which I know he can deliver because he did well with Sinners, this isn't going to be a nostalgic cash grab. This is going to be a proper reimagining, and they're going to elevate an X-Files. For those who don't know anything about X-Files, the original series debuted in 1993 and went on to become one of the longest running sci-fi shows in US TV history. 218 episodes, 11 seasons, 16 Emmy wins, and a massive, massive cult following that still thrives today. Mulder and Scully, which are the two famous names from the show, played by David Devonshie and Gillian Anderson, redefined the FBI partner dynamic and made chasing aliens cool. And then you had Men in Black later on, which kind of I think was inspired by X-Files. Fun fact, in 2021, Coogler signed a 5-year deal with Disney to develop TV content, and this reboot is part of that. So I imagine the new X-Files series will be on Disney+. Chris Carter, the original show's creator, has already said he won't be involved, but he's given Coogler his full blessings and has hinted that the reboot will feature a more diverse cast. Look, man, Gillian Anderson saying, call me to Coogler, that's just, she's not teasing. I think we will see both Mulder and Scully in the new season. How much we see them, I don't know, because I assume they want to bring the audience back that loves the show, but then they want to propel it into 2026, 2027, whenever it comes out. So they want to gain a new audience. So they're going to have to think of clever ways of bringing them in, but not totally relying on them, I think. But let me know in the comments, man. Are you guys fans of X-Files? Are you excited for this news? There's no date of when it's coming out. It's in production, not even in production right now. I think it's still being written and stuff. But yeah, man, I've not watched X-Files myself, so I actually might, if it's on Disney Plus, I actually might start watching it this year. Let me know. We've got some comments about X-Files, so we've got some fans in the building. No way will I be paying £30 a month. Oh, yeah, yay, X-Files. I'm a huge fan of X-Files. I hope X-Files does a flat Earth theory. Oh my! Oh, if X-Files does a flat Earth theory episode, and I again, I've not watched X-Files, but if they do, I think the internet will be insane for like a month. There's gonna be so many think pieces. Recently, the flat Earth theory has actually been popping up on some podcasts that I've been tuning into, but yeah, I mean, the Earth is not flat, but it will be interesting to see them debunk that on a X-Files show. If they do flat Earth, I'm turning it. Oh man, yeah. You know what? If they see this stream, they might actually put their own twist on it. They might do an Inception and do the spinny thing at the end to leave it up to you to decide if the Earth is flat or not. But I don't believe that. But anyway, all right, cool. That was everything about X-Files. You guys are making me laugh, man. That's funny. But yeah, of course, when more information comes out about this X-Files series, I'll be keeping you guys in the loop. All right, cool. We are on to the next. There we are. The next news story, and this one's really cool, and we are talking about Roadhouse 2. We already knew that the sequel was in the works, but this week we received a major update that you can see on screen, and we have official confirmation that Guy Ritchie is going to be directing Roadhouse 2. The man behind Snatch, The Gentleman, The Covenant, is taking over directing duties for the sequel, with Jake Gyllenhaal returning as the legendary Dalton, the character that he played in the first movie. In terms of plot details, still tightly wrapped, which, you know, at this stage of production, we're not going to know much about the plot. But the script has been written by Will Bill, who wrote Aquaman and Gangster Squad. And production is backed by some heavy hitters. We have Charles Roven and Alex Gartner from Atlas Entertainment, plus Gyllenhaal himself and Josh McLaughlin repping 9 Stories Productions. This hiring of Guy Ritchie for the sequel, it does give the film a big shift from the first movie. Because, the first movie was directed by Doug Liman. And if you remember, Liman wasn't happy, or if you didn't know, they weren't happy about Amazon dropping the reimagining of Roadhouse straight to streaming. I believe his impression is that it was supposed to be a cinematic release and then to Prime Video. But despite that, Roadhouse was a massive hit. It pulled nearly 80 million views in just 8 weeks on Prime Video after its South by Southwest premiere. So yeah, I think this is going to be another streaming. Actually, no, not with Guy Ritchie on board. But look, this sees Ritchie and Gyllenhaal back together again after working on Guy Ritchie's The Covenant, and clearly the chemistry worked really well. But Guy Ritchie's schedule right now is insane. He's got season 2 of The Gentleman, which is coming to Netflix, Mobland that he recently released, and I've been hearing really good reviews about Mobland, so I assume that's going to get a season 2. That's on Paramount Plus. That stars Tom Hardy. I actually need to start watching that because I've heard really good things about that. Then there's Fountain of Youth dropping on Apple TV at the end of this month in May. Then he's cooking up Young Sherlock for Prime Video. And then there's a film called Wife and Dog starring Benedict Cumberbatch and Anthony Hopkins. So his schedule right now is crazy. If you missed the first Roadhouse, well, not the first one, but the second one in the timeline, this is basically, it stars Jake Gyllenhaal, and this was a gritty reimagining of the 1989 cult classic with Patrick Swayze. And honestly, it brought heat. Like this, I think the newer generation didn't know anything about Roadhouse, and having someone like Jake Gyllenhaal play that character and bring it into the modern day, I think they did really well with that. So yeah, with Guy Ritchie at the helm for a sequel, we could be in for a slicker, sharper, and more action-packed sequel. I would like to see this in the cinemas first because I like Guy Ritchie's productions. Even though he's produced a lot now for like Netflix and stuff, I think Roadhouse 2 would do well in the cinemas, and then taking it to Prime Video. But let me know, were you guys fans of the first, well, not the first, but the Roadhouse on Prime? Did you watch it? Are you fans of the original with Patrick Swayze, the cult classic? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, when more information becomes available, I'll be keeping you guys in the loop. Are we having more flat earth conversations in the comments? True fact. Gangsters again. Nah, I mean Roadhouse, yeah, there's a little gangster element kind of, but not massively. All right, cool. Got 2 more. Yeah, 2 more. We're doing well for timing, man. Man United starts at 8. Doing well. All right, cool. We're taking it to the next story, and this I'm really, really excited about. And it's about Shōgun season 2. And the Shōgun saga isn't over, guys, even though I would have loved it if they just kept it as a limited series, just a one and done. But the awards that it won, the word of mouth that spread about this series, I know, it makes money. So that, of course, they're going to keep redoing and redoing, as Hollywood always does. But yeah, FX has confirmed that season 2 of their Emmy-sweeping epic is locked in, with filming kicking off in January 2026. And the 2 titans from the show, well, 2 out of the 3 titans, I'll say, are both coming back. So Cosmo Jarvis is officially returning as English pilot John Blackthorne, rejoining Hiroyuki Sanada, who reprises his role as the powerful and strategic Lord Toranaga. This reunion is major because people were kind of thinking, all right, cool. The first season was based off a book. Now, to my knowledge, there is no second book. So are they going to continue with these characters, or are they going to do a totally different story? I think everyone loved Shōgun. Not necessarily, well, the story was amazing, but the character development and the writing of them was just outstanding. And we all just gravitated to every single character that was on screen. So to have these guys, to have both of them back is massive. And a really good thing about them returning is Sanada is now an executive producer, and Jarvis is also stepping up as a co-executive producer for season 2. So their input is going to be felt way more than season 1. We do have some details about this new chapter, and it's a brand new original story set 10 years after the events of season 1. Oh, am I online still? Yeah, cool. Yeah, set 10 years after the events of season 1. There's no James Clavell novel to follow this time, as I just said, but the creators are still pulling from unused material and characters from the book to flesh out this next arc. Season 2 is going to pick up in a Japan transformed by the brutal the power plays of season 1. I'm not going to say this bit because some of you listening to the show right now may not have watched it, so I'm not going to ruin it. I don't do spoilers on the live stream show, but we are going to see Toranaga and Blackthorn reunite because these guys are now tied at the hip, as you saw at the end of season 1. And basically, FX says we'll see a historically inspired saga continue, built around these two men from completely different worlds whose lives are now linked, basically. As for filming, there were hopes to film in Japan on location, but season 2, as of now, has been confirmed to stay in Vancouver. FX boss John Landgraf explained that the medieval Japanese castles are just not shoot ready, and the infrastructure for production of this scale just isn't there. So Canada it is. There were rumors that season 2 and season 3 were going to film back to back. So, but that's not happening anymore. While a third season might happen, it's not guaranteed. But the creative team behind who's writing the second season believes that to tell this entire story, 3 seasons is the sweet spot. And I like that. I like knowing, we're going to get X amount of seasons. Oh, not us, but I like the writers knowing when they're going to end, because they write to an endpoint, which for me doesn't mean they're just writing as they go along. There's a purpose with everything that they're creating in the show. So I like that. I like the sound of that. So yeah, exciting news for Shōgun fans. If you haven't watched Shōgun, now's the time. You got a couple of years before season 2. I reckon season 2 will probably drop in 2027. So you got 2 years. It's on Disney Plus. The whole season's there, and outstanding piece of television. So yeah, get on that. 10 out of 10 for Mobland. Yeah, I've heard really good things about Mobland. I need to watch it. It's on Paramount Plus. So yeah. All right, cool. We are taking it to the final topic of tonight's stream. Let's just get straight into it, man. I'm going to be talking about Thunderbolts, man. Thunderbolts with an asterisk. Yes, I got to see this one early. Massive shout out to Disney for the invite. The movie drops today in cinemas, Thursday, the 1st of May. But with that said, I know a lot of people haven't rushed to the cinema to watch this movie. A lot of people that I speak to that DM me about reviews and asking me my opinion on certain films, whenever I post about Thunderbolts, they have their doubts. I'm not going to lie, man. And the general feeling out there about Marvel and the MCU is Marvel might be done. I don't know. But look, let's be real. I think a lot of people fell off post Endgame. Disney went full speed ahead with the Disney Plus era of TV shows, like numerous amount of TV shows, and then a film in between that. And I would say because of that, I think not saying that all of Marvel was like, an Oscar written piece of film or TV, but it did water down the Marvel feeling. I think we got too much. So the anticipation for certain things just wasn't there anymore. And also I would say that the quality dipped. Now there were, reasons as to why Marvel had to do what they did. So big one being COVID delays. Then, they sadly lost Chadwick Boseman. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman, who was poised to be a key leader in the MCU. Then you had the whole Jonathan Majors situation, which derailed the whole entire multiverse arc because his character Kang was at the center point of that. And funny enough, today or tomorrow, what's today? The 1st, yeah. Today was supposed to be the release of Avengers Kang Dynasty. So we were supposed to see the storyline of Kang start wrapping up today, but we got Thunderbolts instead. So that's how crazy it's been for Marvel over the past 5 years. It has been a lot for them, but they still could have made better productions, in my opinion. With that said, though, guys, I'm happy to say Thunderbolts, it feels like a serious course correction for Marvel. Honestly, in my opinion, I felt Marvel were back with Deadpool and Wolverine. I really enjoyed that film. And then we had Captain America Brave New World. I mean, I'm not even gonna bother continue talking about that film, but that was that for me is up there with Thor Love and Thunder in terms of recent Marvel releases. That was terrible. Anyway, yeah, so the feeling of the MCU Marvel just wasn't there. But Thunderbolts definitely brought that feeling back. Now, here's what I liked. Marvel, they finally tried something new, something that we haven't seen for many, many years in their movies. The formula that we've all grown used to is definitely shaking up here. Thunderbolts feels grown up, more grounded, which I am so happy about, because that multiverse stuff, that was getting messy. It was getting a bit out of hand, and I'm glad they reined everything back in and went for a more grounded approach, more grounded storytelling. The first 20 minutes of this movie, I was like, I was slouching and I had to sit up and be like, rah, is this what Marvel are on? You know, I'm not used to this from Marvel, so that's definitely a plus. This movie is for those of us who grew up with the MCU as teenagers, Phase 1, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, all of those. And now, you know, we are late 20s, early 30s. We're more mature. We want this type of storytelling now. I get Marvel is comic books and they have to appeal to the younger generation, but I ain't hearing that, man. We need this. We need this type of storytelling. Visually, I have to give props here as well. Cinematographer Andrew Droz Palamo gave this film a moody, mature style. Yes, it is still VFX heavy, but it doesn't look plastic like normal, well, recent Marvel films do. It actually feels cinematic in a way, which I liked, and it's one of the best looking Marvel films in years. The team dynamic, it just works. And I'll be honest, I was skeptical about this group of misfits, characters that as a viewer we don't know much about. If you haven't followed the Disney Plus shows, you may not even know of them. Like, you're just going to turn up to the cinema and be like, who the heck is this? But this film does a solid job of catching you up in a way without dragging down the pace. Now, there will be some holes that you may not understand, so you might have to go and revisit some stuff, but at least the film just doesn't leave you hanging like mad confused. You get to know everyone's purpose and why they are in the film. The main players, we have Yelena Belova, played by Florence Pugh, Bucky Barnes, Sebastian Stan, John Walker, played by Wyatt Russell, Red Guardian, played by David Harbour, Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, Hannah John Kamen, and Taskmaster, who was in the Black Widow film just before COVID, or think when COVID started, that film released, Olga Kurilenko. And then in the movie, we are introduced to a new character played by Lewis Pullman called Bob. And Bob is a crucial part to the story. And I'm not going to say why, because I don't do spoilers. And then we have Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She returns as Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Now, you're most likely saying to yourself, damn, that's a lot of characters. Surely this doesn't work. And I've been on record saying, when there's loads of characters and things happening, the movie doesn't tend to be good. But it works. The chemistry most definitely works in this movie. Every character gets their moment to shine. One of the standouts for me is David Harbour. As Red Guardian, he is absolutely hilarious. Right timing for the jokes. He breaks the serious. And that's one good thing that this film gets right. Sometimes Marvel, when there's like a serious moment happening, they'll drop a joke in there, and it just doesn't fit the tone of the scene. With Red Guardian, every time he does something comedic, it works, in my opinion. He's hilarious. He brings heart and personality to his character is basically the Russian Captain America, the Red Guardian. And his dynamic with Yelena adds real depth. We also finally get more insight to Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. You know, for years we're thinking, who the heck is this character? What's her plan? What is she scheming? And finally, we get to the bottom of it in this movie. Her schemes start to make sense, and the movie also fleshes out her character, which makes her more of a compelling character than she's ever been, than we've seen her in past series or movies. But the star of the show, the star of the movie, is Florence Pugh. Jeez, she owns this movie. She owns the role. Her character in the movie is going through a crisis in life, feeling lost and unsure of her place in the world, basically. And watching her emotional arc unfold, especially in relation to Bob and her father. The movie delves a lot with past trauma, mental health, and they do it in such a way that it some parts were genuinely moving in the movie. And when you add Red Guardian in there as well, they did a great job with this film. That's what I meant by it just feels grounded, and I think that worked for this type of movie. Genuinely, there were moving parts in there. She is the heartbeat of the movie, and her performance is top tier. In addition, with the action, and even she had a couple jokes in the movies, which Florence Pugh, I've seen her in some films, but yeah, this one she definitely took her role to the next level. Now, when discussing the story, I loved the first 3/4 of this film. It had momentum, great character work, some standout action scenes, but the final quarter, guys, that final bit didn't land for me. That doesn't mean that the film is terrible or bad. It's not. But I was sitting in my seat and I was just thinking to myself, yo, I'm waiting for the film to, I'm like, come on, man, guys, just do that. Just take it to the next level. And it doesn't really reach there, unfortunately. And I left the cinema wanting a bit more. There were places that they could have taken it, but in the end, it's kind of like a safe ending. The way I see this film being is like like how they treated the Ant-Man movies, where these were just filler movies, entertaining filler movies to bring in certain characters or elements of the MCU that we will see come to fruition later on. And that's exactly what this movie is. But I will say that the Thunderbolts is a better film than the Ant-Man films. But yeah, look, they built to something, but didn't quite hit the mark for me. Even with that said, though, guys, I still had a great time. It's bold, it's different, definitely something refreshing in the Marvel universe, and it mostly works. If you stayed in tune with the Marvel universe, you'll definitely enjoy this. If you're looking for a Friday evening to go, for a film to watch, especially off the back of Sinners, you want something different. Sinners was a lot to take in. I definitely recommend going to the cinema to watch Thunderbolts. And trust me, there's 2 post-credit scenes, and they are crucial. So you have to stay in your seat because they basically show you what Marvel are building to next. They are probably the biggest after credits we've had in years, and it felt in a way how Marvel used to do post-credit scenes. Actually use them to propel the story somewhere, not just bring someone in or something in that we're probably never going to see again. So with that said, and for tonight's show, actually, I'm going to be changing my scoring. No longer going to be doing numbers, but Thunderbolts for me gets a Lowery B+. So that means it's a very good movie and worth going out of your way to see. So I'll definitely pay the cinema ticket price to go and see Thunderbolts in cinemas. And if you can, watch it on the biggest screen possible. Trust me. And yeah, that is my review done for Thunderbolts. Let me know in the comments, are you guys excited for this movie? Are you going to wait for Disney Plus? Let me know. I've got some more comments here. Wasn't a fan of the first Roadhouse. Swayze and tight jeans, A for me. You know what? I've not watched the original Roadhouse, so I don't know all the lore and everything surrounding it. But the first one definitely has a cult following, so I might need to check. I might check it out. But yeah, guys, that is it for tonight's show. I'm gonna be off for about 2 weeks because I'm traveling, but you should see a review for Final Destination, the new one coming out soon. You should see that on my YouTube channel pop up. I don't know if I might do a live stream, maybe not. Next week's gonna be busy, but yeah, I'll be back in about 2 weeks time. But make sure you guys stay. There'll be some more content coming out that I pre-recorded. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you joining the show, commenting, liking, sharing, all that good stuff. It's still hot out there, so I hope you guys try and have a cool evening. Got all the windows open here, and it's still hot. But yeah, guys, thank you very much, and I'll catch you in the next couple of weeks. Have a good night. Peace.